It's a delicate subject, one that tends to make everyone uneasy. As people age, they become more frail, vulnerable to increased risks of falls, health issues, and new challenges in living independently in their homes. If maintaining one's autonomy in one's home as long as possible is of critical importance, perhaps SecurTek Medical Alert is the solution you've been looking for.
We all have those stories of Uncle George putting up the Christmas lights with the ladder and suddenly that ladder falling, or Aunt May going, to the basement to pick up the jam preserves or whatever and slipping on a stair or a mat and ending up at the bottom as a huddled mass. Falls do account for most injuries in a home setting, and that is an area of definite concern in our first aid classes. So when people come in and get trained, there's that expectation that you go home, hey, there's some dangers there we gotta look out for. And we try to lean on the prevention side of things, which would include things like making sure that your floors are uncluttered. And these things happen on a regular basis, and people do get hurt, and they need to have some option of getting help when they do get hurt.
Educating families and caregivers about the risks and the consequences of falls in home settings is one of the most effective ways to keep North American households safe, according to safety experts. Fall prevention should also include discussions about protocols and signals on how to react when falls and injuries do occur.
A lot of the time, they're looking for the product after they needed the product. And I've heard and seen some pretty horrific things. People on their floor for 2 days before somebody finds them, people with bruises right down the side of their face and their ribs and that sort of thing. So a lot of times it's after the fact that they look for the product. I'd really like to see a lot more people getting it prior to that. Our specialty is anything with mobility, right from long shoehorns and elastic shoelaces, to help you get your shoes on, right up to the elevators and the wheelchair accessible vans, the scooters, the walkers. People, they tend to fight all the products. They don't want them because they feel old or they feel feeble, or they just don't want them until they absolutely have to have them. And the lucky people, the ones that I feel are lucky, are the ones that come in and they're open to it beforehand.
Addressing these challenges affects not only the people whose health is the focus of increased concern, it affects the adult children of aging parents who want to help them remain independent and stay safe. That is what SecurTek Medical Alert helps them achieve.
It's a very simple device. It attaches right to the telephone, and that's one of the things that I really like about it, is that it's their original telephone that it'll attach to. So it's a small device. It sits beside the phone, and if they ever need the help, they push the button, and immediately somebody will start speaking to them. They know them by name. I've heard them many, many times while we're doing the testing. They're always very calming and professional, and they immediately start talking to them, asking, what's going on, what the problem might be, and if they have to dispatch emergency service, they will do that. If it's as simple as calling my son to come over because I'm feeling dizzy, or that sort of thing, they'll do whatever they need to do. It can be worn as a pendant around the neck, or it can be worn on the wrist, just like a watch. And basically, it's not there until you need it. You can keep it under your shirt, and if you don't want people to see it, or under the clothing. And when you need it, you just push the button. It sends a signal to the monitor. The monitor tells you that it's dialing for assistance and to relax and that sort of thing. So they immediately know that it's working, and then it dials in, and you get a live person on the other end right from Saskatchewan talking to you.
Another SecurTek authorized dealer in British Columbia who thinks highly of SecurTek Medical Alert is Mark Greenberg of ICM Security in Vancouver.
Well, we have some interesting markets. We're all through British Columbia, and that includes Victoria and the Okanagan Valley, which are both major retirement areas in Canada. In fact, they are the retirement areas in Canada, and therefore have a huge target market in medical services and medical alerts. We also have a medical division that we're looking to possibly pair with those services, where we can actually provide response to alarms, as well as counseling for the use of the alarms. And so therefore we turn out to be a very, very good fit at the same time.
Well, getting help is definitely a primary goal in any emergency situation where somebody gets hurt, and having that resource, even if it is 911, to get a hold of as soon as possible. We don't want people dealing with things on their own if it's above what they're capable of doing. And especially for the person on their own, there are a number of issues involved that need to be addressed, that if they can't get to the phone themselves, somehow that help has to be recruited. It's good to have backup plans, although the main issue is have something. Most people haven't thought it out or don't have a plan for if something happens. And we always encourage people to always work with your family, make sure everybody knows what to do if something happens and if they receive a signal that, hey, help is needed here.
SecurTek Medical Alert customers can count on the local experience and knowledge of authorized SecurTek dealers like Jeff Beer to ensure their equipment, including its powerful two-way speaker, meets their needs.
People are concerned about being out in the garden and that sort of thing, so we actually go right out into the backyard, right to the back fence, and we'll push the button and we'll make sure that the range, they'll know where the range is before I leave. And of course the construction of the building makes a big difference. It's, you know, if it's concrete walls in an apartment building, it's not going to be as far of a range if you've got lots of windows. But I haven't run into any situation where we couldn't install it because the range wasn't adequate. Well, it's kind of an insurance policy. I mean, the way I look at it, you know, they come in and they're proactive. They're trying to prevent falls. They're looking for walkers. They're looking for stair lifts. They're trying to prevent it, but you can't prevent everything. And I just see it as an insurance policy for them. If, you know, whatever happens, you know, they've got something that they can fall back on.
Find something that works, make sure that the people who know about the signal know what to do when they get the signal, and then follow up on that if something does happen.
To find out more about the latest developments in integrated security systems and solutions like SecurTek Medical Alert, contact SecurTek today.